Legendary Pokemon are not just the stars of the game, they are the poster child, the cinematic bosses, the final test of a Pokemon trainer. These titans of the Pokemon world boast towering stat totals usually between 660 and 680, and even breaking into the 700s with their powered up forms. However, their movesets are equally as stacked. I mean, we're talking Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and a devastating signature move that basically screams, I am the chosen one. But here's the plot twist, their abilities kinda mid. While a few have abilities that match their lore and origin, others feel like they were handed whatever was left in the ability bin. Some of these legendaries deserve better. They should have abilities that make them feel legendary. This is why I'm gonna give them new ones, so they could finally live up to their true potential and feel legendary. Being the only legendary Pokemon from this generation, and being the first generation, we've got to give this Pokemon a true legendary ability, because let's face it, pressure is not an ability to write home about. Also, it doesn't help Mewtwo at all. I mean, he's a fast, hard-hitting special attacker, and doesn't need an ability like pressure, which is essentially going to be useless. The bottom line is, the pressure ability is not fitting for Mewtwo, so let's give him a new one that'll actually benefit him. This is why I decided to give him Neuroforce. This ability essentially allows super effective damage to do 25% more than it normally does. This makes Mewtwo much more dangerous as it plays in perfectly with its vast move pool. Like Mewtwo, Ho-Oh and Lugia both have the pressure ability, and just like Mewtwo, it's not going to work out for them. Given the lore and the backstory of these two Pokemon, they are way above the pressure ability. I mean, Ho-Oh is a guardian of the sky, and even revived the legendary beast from the burning brass tower. Meanwhile, Lugia serves as a guardian of the seas, and is even the leader of the legendary birds. All of this is to say that the ability pressure is not a good look for these two. However, both of their hidden abilities are great for them. Therefore, we should keep them as their primary abilities. Ho-Oh, known for being a bulky, hard-to-kill legendary, aligns perfectly with its hidden ability of Regenerator. This allows Ho-Oh to withstand those pesky stealth rocks. This ability also allows Ho-Oh to fire off Sacred Fires at will. To be the Guardian of the Sea, you've got to be resilient, and Lugia's ability Multiscale allows it to be just that, as he's got an extra layer of defense when his HP is full. This gives Lugia a huge buffer and buys enough time to fire off an Aeroblast or two. As we know, abilities came out during Generation 3, so because of this, Pokemon wanted to do something big for their legendaries and their abilities. This is why the trio of Drought, Drizzle, and Airlock is perfect for these three legends. I mean, they basically created new evil teams and plenty of lore behind these abilities. We also might not have had one of the most nostalgic cutscenes of all time if it wasn't for these abilities. The same goes for arguably the best Pokemon remakes of all time. If you really think about it, it all comes back to these three legendary Pokemon and their abilities. Their new abilities all follow the same triangle that Drizzle, Drought, and Airlock possess. I mean, we have Desolate Land, which is like an upgraded Drought, Primordial Sea is an upgraded Drizzle, and Delta Stream is an upgraded Airlock. Because of this, we will keep these three legendary abilities on these three legendary Pokemon. Now, these monsters of Gen 4 all have the pressure ability. I guess pressure was the ability to give to legendaries because a lot of them seem to have it. But this doesn't mean it's an ability fit for them, especially given that these three Pokemon represent time, space, and antimatter respectively. This is why they should all get new abilities. Starting with Dialga, a time god should be immune to all outside influences when he governs time. This is why I suggest we give Dialga an ability that embodies just that, and that is Clear Body. This ability prevents stat drops and allows Dialga not to buckle when faced with abilities like Intimidate or moves like Shadow Ball. This ability also applies to its origin form as well, in order to demonstrate the sheer power of Dialga and how unstoppable it is. Palkia, on the other hand, gets an ability that truly embodies the master of time and can really bend the dimensions of the battle as well. This is why I've decided to give Palkia the ability Protean. This allows it to bend the dimensions of the battle in favor of Palkia by having all of its attacks be stab. While Palkia isn't the fastest Protean user, it uses it much more strategically than the other Pokemon in order to get an advantage on the competition. Similarly, this ability also applies to Origin Palkia, just to demonstrate how powerful Palkia truly is. Now for Giratina, we're gonna give him 2 abilities, one for each form. So for its altered form, or I guess normal form, I say normal in parentheses because when you're talking about a Pokemon based on Satan, nothing is normal. Anyways, for this form we are going to give him the ability Infiltrator. As the ghostly protector of the distortion world, Giratina needs a shifty ability, allowing it to pass right by different dimensions, just like Infiltrator passes through screens. Now for the origin form of Giratina, there is only one option for an ability, and that is to keep it the same, being Levitate. Levitate is both lore accurate and competitively useful, as Giratina is seen flying through the distortion world, and competitively its ground type weakness is taken away, adding yet another defensive capability onto an already impressive Pokemon. For the 2 box arts, they have the generic ability of Turbo Blaze and Terrabolt respectively. These abilities serve as just Mold Breaker clones, as Game Freak just disguised this by giving them cool names. Because of this, both of these abilities are gonna need to be switched out, because let's face it, Mold Breaker for a legendary Pokemon just isn't gonna cut it, and instead let's give these legendaries an ability that will actually be useful. Starting with Reshiram, let's go ahead and give him Sheer Force. This ability powers up all of its moves with a secondary effect. Think of Blue Flare, Earth Power, Dragon Pulse, you know, those kinds of attacks. Lore-wise, Reshiram is the Pokemon that represents truth, and its new ability demonstrates just that, as it entails a straightforward attack with no gimmicks and no nothing. This ability cements Reshiram as a groundbreaking special attacker. Zekrom, on the other hand, known for basically being Zeus, should have an electric ability, right? And what better electric ability to give Zekrom than Electric Surge? I mean, it creates synergy with moves like Rising Voltage, as well as acting like an electric generator for the entire team. This ability will drastically improve its usage, as now its electric moves will be boosted, as well as allowing others to be boosted as well. Finally, we've got Kyurem, who much like other legendaries, has the Pressure ability. And you already know the deal, it's not an ability fit for a legendary. Instead, let's give this Pokemon something broken, because after all, Kyurem itself is broken. He is an incomplete part, the 3rd piece of the puzzle, part of the missing dragon. For this reason, I've decided to give this Pokemon the Refrigerate ability, which states that all normal type moves become Ice type. This allows it to get stab on moves like Hyper Voice, which turns it into a super powerful nuke move. This ability gives Kyurem a niche in both singles and double battle formats. These 3 legendary Pokemon just go together, and their abilities match up great with one another. I mean, we've got Xerneas, the Life Pokemon, with the Fairy Aura ability, which is known as the Life type. Next, we've got Yveltal, the literal Bringer of Death. This Pokemon has the ability Dark Aura, which boosts all Dark type moves on the battlefield. This plays into the fact that in the Pokemon lore, Yveltal is known as the embodiment of destruction. And finally, to complete this trio, we need a legendary to balance out the other 2, and Zygarde does just that. Its ability Aura Break is like the icing on the cake, as it completely cancels out the other 2. This gives it credibility as a keeper of balance and order. In addition, Zygarde has another ability in the form of Power Construct, which gives this legendary Pokemon some identity as it transforms mid-battle. much like some legendary Pokemon mentioned previously. This trio has great abilities, therefore there is no need to change them. I mean, we've got Solgaleo, which is a celestial lion packing the ability Full Metal Body, which allows it to prevent any stat drops. Even though this ability is a knockoff of Clear Body, it still fits so well with Solgaleo, whether it be lore-wise or competitive, as it reintroduces its role as a great pivot or tankmon. For Lunala, on the other hand, we've got another knockoff ability. This time it's multi-scale in the form of Shadow Shield. This ability practically embodies Lunala as a moon god, which demonstrates the motif of hard to touch. This emphasizes its role as a hard-hitting psychic ghost type with a reliability aspect that allows it to set up and take some hits. As for Necrozma, its base ability being Prison Armor, as it thematically fits for the legendary Nightlight. As it fuses with either Lunala and Solgaleo, it's only natural to take their abilities as well. This is why both Dawn Wings and Duskmane Necrozma should keep Shadow Shield and Full Metal Body respectively. While the ability Neuroforce is great for Ultra Necrozma, I feel like he really needs something that really screams, I am the final form. Which is why I have chosen to give Ultra Necrozma the Speed Boost ability. After all, this Pokemon is described as attacking at blinding speeds, almost as fast as a human eye can perceive. This is why I think Speed Boost would be a perfect pick. The two box art legendary Pokemon of this region have great abilities. I mean, after all, they are tied to the held items, which transforms them into a more powerful version of themselves, as well as being tied to the two brothers of ancient Galar. These abilities give both Zacian and Zamazenta a massive boost when they enter the battlefield. In fact, these abilities were so strong that they just had to be nerfed in the next generation. But we really need to look at Eternatus and its ability. I mean, really, pressure again? Get that out of here. It's time for a useful ability like Corrosion. As a cosmic poison dragon that represents decay and foreign power, Corrosion provides Eternatus with a great ability that truly embodies this, as it allows Eternatus to poison anyone or anything that steps in its way, even steel types which previously were immune. This ability makes Eternatus a true apocalyptic threat, and don't even get me started on the transformation into Eternamax Eternatus. I mean, it looks like you're battling the Master Hand at that point. Both Koraidon and Miraidon have great abilities that truly showcases their dominance. These abilities are so powerful that they landed each legendary in the Ubers tier in competitive. Similar to that of Groudon and Kyogre's ability, Koraidons and Miraidons summon weather or at least a weather-like effect. However, in addition to summoning sunlight or electric terrain respectively, they also boost their attack or special attack. And finally, we've got Terapagos, the legendary Pokemon with 3 forms. Each form and its abilities fit thematically and competitively, starting off with its normal form and its ability Terra Shift. While not strong on its own, the ability thematically fits as it allows Terapagos to transform into its stellar form. Next up, we've got the stellar form of Terapagos and its ability Terra Shell. Similar to Lugia's multi-scale, Terapagos' Terra Shell not only provides Terapagos with reduced damage at full HP, but also prevents stat drops as well. This ability fits its form so well as it's a bulky and more defensive Pokemon than its previous form. Finally, we've got the final form, and that comes along with the ability Terraform Zero. This ability not only enhances Terra boosted moves, but also neutralizes all weather and terrain effects on the battlefield. Overall, legendary Pokemon are meant to feel larger than life. They serve as beacons of power, myth, and meaning within their respective games. Yet, as we've explored today, not all of them line up to that identity when it comes to their abilities. I mean, too many legendary Pokemon have been weighed down by the all too common pressure ability, which provides as a placeholder that rarely plays into legendary's lore or playstyle. But by giving them new abilities that reflect their stories, strengths, and presence, we breathe new life into them. turning them from static symbols to dynamic threats worthy of the legendary title. Whether it's Mewtwo's newly gifted Neuroforce, Lugia's divine multi-scale, or Eternatus's corrosion, which helps it melt through steel, these changes aren't just about competitiveness. They're about reminding us why we looked at the box art and said, I want to catch that. These aren't just Pokemon, they're legends, and with the right abilities, they finally feel like it.